Hello, my name is Logan Bradley, and this is Miss Jeffers, an ELA teacher at Bayport. Tell me a bit about yourself. Where did you grow up, go to college, what was life like when you were younger, etc.?
All right. I grew up in Fond du Lac, Wisconsin, and I got to live on Lake Winnebago, so we would spend a lot of time on the water. My grandparents lived right down the road, so we spent a lot of time doing like family get-togethers, and every Packer game we'd gather together, lots of holidays. So I grew up around a lot of family and spent a lot of time out on the lake. After I left home, I went to UW-Madison, and then I transferred to UW-Oshkosh and got my degree there. And I got kind of a triple certification in teaching in Spanish, EL, and English. And then I went back later to Marian University and I got my master's in educational technology. Yeah, so that's where I went to college, and that's a little bit about what my life was like when I was young.
What do you think makes a good teacher and or student?
I think a good teacher is one who is really engaged with the students and really wants them to have every opportunity that they want to have. I think sometimes when you're young, I taught middle school too, so when you're young you don't necessarily know what you want to do, and so I try to think of it as, how can I support students? One, make them feel really comfortable and supported and seen, but then number two, like give them all the options in life, because you might not know exactly what you want. And sometimes in life you have to pivot. So I decided on teaching English because if students can read, write, listen, and speak, and research, they can really do anything they want to in whatever field, and they know how to like code shift between different types of conversations, different types of business, different types of activities. So I want that option for students. So it's an opportunity for me to help grow all those different skills, and I really love teaching with language. Language is one of my favorite things to learn about. So kind of combined a passion of mine with my desire to get to know students. And in English too, you get a chance to work with students who are from all different types of activities and interests, so I get to learn through them, so that part's really fun too.
What would be your least favorite or favorite part of teaching?
My favorite part of teaching is definitely the students. They are pretty incredible. There's so many different ideas, and they bring so many different like walks of life, and so I really appreciate the chance to work with a variety of students. I think the hardest part about teaching is that sometimes you leave at the end of the day with a list of 15 things that like you know that you wanted to do for the students, or that like would be awesome, and the reality of life is that sometimes you have to choose, and some things you can't get to in a day, and there's some students that you didn't get to connect with that day. So being able to kind of like be gentle with yourself and say, okay, I have these priorities, these other ones are bonuses, and if I don't get to them today, maybe I can get to them tomorrow, and if not, like you have to like make peace with the fact that you can't do everything for every student, even though you care about every single one of them so much. So I think that's the hardest part.
What is some advice you would give someone who is looking to be a teacher when they get older, and how is that helpful or important to them?
Okay, I think my advice would be that I would really encourage students to get out there and work with a variety of different students in a variety of different ways. So volunteering or getting jobs in the community that will allow you to work with students, so you know which group you like, what kind of content you like to teach, what kind of environment you want to be in, because there's many different ways to teach people. Like you could teach adults. You can teach adults in a business environment, or in a construction environment, or in a technology environment. You can teach kids in a variety of environments too, whether it's a public school, parochial school, or a community kind of activity. So getting out there and getting some experience is huge. Volunteering really helps with that. It also builds like a network where you can get to know other people who are already in the field. You can learn from them. Sometimes those can be a great advocates for you as you're applying for jobs. They can call on your behalf because they know you, they have a relationship, and they can recommend you well. So that always helps too.
Did you have a backup plan in case teaching didn't work out?
So I worked really hard. I knew I wanted to be a teacher when I was really young, and I tried to really build my resume with tons of volunteer experiences, work experiences, and then education that would all kind of line up to show that I'm a really strong candidate. I also got additional certifications, so I knew I wanted to teach English, but I also added in an EL and a Spanish language minor so that I would have that chance to show that like I can work with a variety of students, that I understand language from a variety of different angles, and that if I couldn't get an English teaching job, I could work with English language learners, or I could work with Spanish learners. So I knew that would help, and then I got the additional master's degree so that I would be more marketable and to increase my effectiveness in the classroom too. So I think with all those different experiences, and I worked really hard. I worked really hard in high school, I worked really hard in college. My grades were really, really strong, and I had great recommendations from my professors because they knew me well, and I made sure I engaged in class and engaged in all the different activities. So I had a really strong resume. I felt pretty confident. I think if I hadn't gotten a teaching job right away, I probably would have just volunteered or taken a paraprofessional position and made relationships with people in schools until I could get that full-time position, or subbed.
All right, is there anything else you'd like to add?
No, I'm really appreciative of the chance to get to talk to you today, Logan, and I hope that anybody considering education gets out there, gets some experience, and makes a choice that fits the lifestyle they're looking for. So thank you.